All right, so we're diving into a martial arts legend today. A guy who supposedly lived for over 200 years.
Some even say he's immortal now.
Yep, we're talking Zhang Sanfeng, the mysterious figure credited with creating Tai Chi. You asked for a deep dive. Well, let's untangle fact from fiction and see what wisdom we can unearth.
It's going to be quite a journey. With figures like Zhang Sanfeng, separating historical fact from legend is always a challenge. We're dealing with conflicting accounts of his life.
Even his birth date.
Even his birth date is up for debate.
Yeah, some of these sources make him seem more myth than man. Is this common when you're researching ancient martial arts?
Absolutely. Solid historical evidence can be hard to come by. But here's the thing. Whether Zhang Sanfeng fits neatly into a historical box isn't the core issue. What matters is the impact of his legend and the enduring principles of Tai Chi.
It's that saying, the legend is bigger than the man himself.
Exactly.
One source mentions the Ming emperor using the search for Zhang Sanfeng as a cover for a political hunt, though. What's the story there?
Ah, yes. That's the Yongle emperor. A fascinating figure obsessed with immortality. He used the supposed search for Zhang Sanfeng as a smokescreen to hunt down rivals and consolidate his power.
Wow.
It's a tale that speaks volumes about how captivating the idea of Zhang Sanfeng's supposed immortality was.
Using a legend to your advantage, huh? This image of Zhang Sanfeng, a wandering sage, appearing when needed, then vanishing. It's practically an archetype.
Right. Are there similar figures in other cultures?
Oh, absolutely. You see this across cultures. The wandering holy person, the wise woman on the mountaintop. It speaks to a universal fascination with those who possess wisdom and appear in times of need. Yeah, it makes sense. So his exact timeline might be a little fuzzy, but we can explore what he's most famously connected with, the birth of Tai Chi. There's that amazing story about Zhang Sanfeng witnessing a snake and a crane about to fight.
Oh, that story. It's one of the most popular accounts of how Tai Chi came to be. So Zhang Sanfeng, he observes these animals circling each other, their movements fluid, almost hypnotic. But then, bam! These sudden bursts of power.
Amazing.
Each attack effortlessly evaded. The crane and snake, they redirect the other's force. Eventually, they simply disengage. No clear victor. Just this fascinating display of power and yielding.
Talk about an aha moment. Seeing that must have sparked something in Zhang Sanfeng's understanding of martial arts.
It's said that this encounter led him to a revolutionary realization. Softness could overcome hardness. This was a radical departure from the external martial arts prevalent at the time.
You're talking Shaolin Kung Fu, hard strikes, direct force.
Exactly.
So how did Tai Chi change the game?
Well, think of it this way. While other martial arts emphasize strength and speed, Tai Chi, as Zhang Sanfeng supposedly envisioned it, was about cultivating Qi. This internal energy that flows through all things. It's about leveraging your opponent's force against them, almost like...
Meeting force with emptiness, is one of our sources put it.
Exactly. Imagine trying to strike a Tai Chi master. It's like punching a feather. The force just dissipates, redirected, leaving you overextended and vulnerable. It's about yielding, adapting, becoming one with the flow of energy rather than rigidly opposing it.
That's a powerful concept.
Yeah.
And one that seems to resonate far beyond just fighting, wouldn't you say? Is this yielding idea unique to martial arts, or does it tie into broader Chinese thought?
Excellent point.
Look.
This is where Zhang Sanfeng's story gets even more interesting. He wasn't just a martial artist, he was a Taoist monk.
Right.
And these ideas of yielding, of balance, of softness, overcoming hardness, they're central to Taoist philosophy.
Okay, so we're talking about the Tao Te Ching, written by Laozi.
Yeah.
That's all about aligning with the natural order of the universe, right?
Right. Precisely. It emphasizes going with the flow, not rigidly opposing, very much like the snake and the crane in Zhang Sanfeng's story. This concept of yielding isn't about weakness, you see. It's about strategic adaptation, about finding strength in non-resistance. And then, of course, there's the concept of yin and yang, seemingly opposite forces that are interconnected and create balance.
So we're seeing these parallels between this physical practice of Tai Chi and these deeper philosophical concepts of Taoism. It's not just about fighting, it's about harmonizing with the energy around you.
Oh, absolutely.
Both internally and externally.
Exactly. And this is where the real legacy of Zhang Sanfeng, the principles he embodied, become even more relevant to us today. I mean, because who hasn't felt like they're caught in a whirlwind?
Right.
Struggling to find balance in a world that feels chaotic. These ideas of yielding, of adapting, of cultivating inner strength, they offer a different way to navigate life's challenges.
That reminds me, we can't talk about Zhang Sanfeng without talking about Wudang Mountain, practically synonymous with his name.
Right.
And the practice of Tai Chi. What makes this place so significant?
Wudang Mountain is more than just a geographical location. It's a physical manifestation of Zhang Sanfeng's teachings. Imagine a place where Taoist temples and martial arts halls are nestled among these breathtaking peaks.
Beautiful.
A place designed for deep contemplation and practice. That's Wudang.
One source mentions a 43-mile-long path leading up to the main temples.
Oh, yeah.
43 miles. That's not a casual stroll, that's a pilgrimage.
Exactly. And that was intentional. The journey to the heart of Wudang, it was meant to be a physical and spiritual transformation. Pilgrims would shed their worldly concerns as they climbed, preparing their minds and bodies for the teachings that awaited them at the top. It's a powerful example of how environment can be a teacher in itself.
The journey itself becomes a practice, echoing that internal transformation Zhang Sanfeng emphasized.
Precisely. And this connection between the physical and the spiritual, it's essential to understanding Tai Chi. You see, it's not just about mastering movements, it's about cultivating this deep awareness of your own energy and how it interacts with the world around you.
Okay, but we've danced around it long enough. Let's talk about the more outlandish legends surrounding Zhang Sanfeng. Did this guy actually live to be 200 years old?
Right.
Did he achieve some kind of superhuman immortality?
Well, that's where things get particularly interesting. Our sources are full of claims that Zhang Sanfeng lived for centuries, that he possessed these supernatural abilities.
Like what?
Even that he became a Xian.
Okay, so we're venturing into the realm of Xian, those figures who've transcended human limitations.
Yes.
What do those stories tell us?
In many ways, they highlight the enduring power of Zhang Sanfeng's legend. Whether or not he literally lived for 200 years is beside the point. These stories represent the human desire for longevity, for mastery over ourselves and the natural world. They embody the idea that through dedicated practice, we can achieve extraordinary things.
And it's not just about physical longevity, right? It's about the longevity of ideas, of wisdom that transcends generations.
Exactly. Think about it. Even if Zhang Sanfeng is a purely mythical figure, his story has inspired countless people to pursue the principles he embodied. The fact that we're still talking about him centuries later speaks volumes about the power of those ideas.
It's like he's become this lens through which we can explore these bigger questions.
Yes.
About longevity, about what it means to live a life of purpose, of mastery. And speaking of purpose, let's not forget about that Ming emperor who was so obsessed with finding Zhang Sanfeng.
Ah, yes. The Yongle emperor. You see, he wasn't just interested in meeting a legend, he was obsessed with unlocking the secrets of immortality. Just like many powerful figures throughout history, he saw Zhang Sanfeng as the key to achieving that.
So he launches this elaborate search, using it as a cover for his own political maneuvers. But he never actually finds Zhang Sanfeng, does he?
He does not. However, one source tells us that Zhang Sanfeng, in true elusive sage fashion, responded to the emperor's search with a poem.
With a poem. So I'm imagining the poem challenged the emperor's pursuit of external immortality.
Precisely. It emphasized the importance of inner peace, of relinquishing worldly desires, of aligning oneself with the Tao. It was a subtle but powerful rebuke, suggesting that true power comes from within, not from chasing after elusive elixirs or mythical figures.
It's almost as if Zhang Sanfeng, whether a real person or a legend, was saying, you're looking for immortality in all the wrong places.
And isn't that a message that still resonates today? We chase after these external arcers of success, of youth, of longevity, often overlooking the power and the potential that lie within.
It's a powerful reminder that true transformation, it starts from within. But how does this all connect to Tai Chi as we know it today? It's not just about monks on mountains anymore.
And that's the beauty of it. Zhang Sanfeng's legacy isn't confined to ancient times or remote locations. Tai Chi has evolved into this global phenomenon.
It has.
Practiced by millions for its health benefits, stress reduction, as a moving meditation.
It's fascinating how something that was perhaps once a fighting art is now embraced for its ability to cultivate inner peace and well-being.
Exactly. And that adaptability, it speaks to the enduring power of the principles at its core. Balance, harmony, cultivating internal energy. These concepts, they transcend cultural boundaries, historical periods.
It's almost as if Zhang Sanfeng, whether he intended to or not, set in motion something that continues to evolve and adapt to meet the needs of the present moment.
And that's the mark of a truly powerful idea, its ability to transcend its origins and find relevance in new contexts. While the outward expression of Tai Chi has changed, those core principles remain as relevant as ever.
So as we wrap out our deep dive into the mystery of Zhang Sanfeng and the enduring legacy of Tai Chi, What's the key takeaway? What do you hope our listeners walk away with?
I think it's this: whether Zhang Sanfeng was a real person who lived 200 years or a mythical figure embodying powerful principles, his story invites us to look inward. It reminds us that true strength can be found in yielding, in adapting, in cultivating our inner resources. And those are lessons worth exploring, regardless of whether you ever step foot on a mountaintop or practice a single Tai Chi move.
Beautifully put. It's about embracing that journey of self-discovery, of finding balance and strength from within. And on that note, we always like to leave our listeners with a little something to ponder. If Zhang Sanfeng could offer us one piece of wisdom, just one, for navigating our modern lives, what do you think it would be? How can we take these ancient ideas of balance, of harmony, of meeting force with emptiness, and apply them to the challenges we face today? That's something to reflect on. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and who knows, maybe you'll discover your own inner Zhang Sanfeng along the way.